or you could go in and just kind of sweep that. What you might run into if you go from the medial out, if your fingers are too far down, is that you'll take out the drape with it. So be careful of that. That's why I just let my fingers kind of drag behind the pressure. Okay?
This one says to do it with the knuckles.
Next, right?
No, it's the second line.
It was the second line and I didn't read it correctly.
Cool. I was gonna say I knew the knuckles came up sometime. Okay, so sweeping with the knuckles, just like that. Very simple. From the occiput to the acromion. Thanks, readers. No, it's fine. No worries. We miss things. It's cool. Okay.
Loosen neck with wave-like motion from C7 to base of skull. Fingers are on respective sides of neck, not on the vertebrae.
Right. So I'm just going to be here. And I'm just trying to kind of allow the breadth of my hand, my fingers, to push inward like this and not like that. There's a difference between that and this. See? So we don't want to push in, we want to kind of wipe-ish.
Wipe that poke.
Yes. How does that feel?
Hmm.
Hmm? Okay.
Turn head to one side, cradle in hand if comfortable. And then apply gentle petrissage and friction with fingers and thumbs to scalenes from mastoid process to the clavicle. Obtain feedback regarding pressure from client.
Okay. So it depends on how's that pressure so far.
Good.
This could be really tender for some, or you could get in there. Depends a lot on what's going on with them. And you're also getting so many other muscles other than scalenes. You're getting a little bit of the trap, a little bit of splenius brothers, I guess. Splenius and company. And probably the back side, obviously, of SCM there. And they can, I don't know, they're just tender. Depending on how you're willing to, how deep you're willing to go, or how deep you trust yourself to go. I've started to get pretty confident in it, for better or worse, and I get pretty deep into the neck when it's applicable. And when I need to do it, it seems to work pretty well, but it takes a certain client to allow it to happen. Pressure okay?
Mm-hmm.
And when I need to do that on both sides, or do I do something else here first?
First, you apply palm from mastoid process, smoothing and stretching to acromion process 1 to 3 times.
So to the best of my ability, I'm just going to use my palm, heel the palm. You could also go like this, but you have to watch. So I just like this because it seems easier. And it doesn't hurt my wrist to do this. I actually think it's pretty, it's a pretty natural motion. I'm not putting my wrist in a place that's that difficult to deal with. I'm not putting a lot of pressure either. It's just more about the stroke, the stretch, and the glide. Okay?
And then repeat from here.
So repeat the scalings. Okay.
Trace clavicle.
Hold on one second.
Oh,
I gotta
sorry.
finish this. No, it's my fault. I said Kate before I was right. Trace the clavicle.
With respective fingers and thumbs 1 to 3 times. On the last trace, sweep hands around shoulders to base of skull.
So my fingers are inferior, my thumb is superior. And I'm literally just grabbing the clavicle and tracing it. I'm not trying to go underneath it too much. I'm not trying to poke. I'm just grabbing the clavicle. What's the jury think? Interesting,
It's weird.
is it?
Mm-hmm. Right there.
Did you say Jerry thing?
Jury. What's the jury think?
Oh.
Oh, I thought you
It
said
like doesn't hurt.
the
It just
jury
feels
thing.
really odd.
And then I would come back around to what?
to apply static pressure and friction in small circles to suboccipitals.
And then I just do this with the hands on the head. And what I usually do with this is, instead of trying to keep the head still and then using my fingers, for me it looks awkward. So I'll pull and push a little bit with my palms so that the circles become part of the flow.
You can push harder.
The thing you'll get into with some clients though is that they'll start doing
Yeah.
with you,
Yep.
and you're like, then you gotta know how to get out of that, which is, for me, it's simple. I'll just slow everything down, or I'll stop altogether, and they'll keep going, and I'll just literally sit here and wait for them to stop.
What are you doing? Except you wouldn't say that.
I wouldn't say anything. Okay.
Apply gentle traction to the head.
Okay, so this is perfect. I'm going to add something in too that I didn't put in there. You could do the traction like this, which is, I like to do it like this. I think it's a safe way to do it. I start with my hands underneath the neck, to as close as I can get without this throaty feeling. And then I just pull straight back until the heel of my palm reaches the occiput in the mastoid process. And then when my thumb hits that, I kind of hook it with my thumb, and then just pull back. And then give slight pressure with my fingers up. Okay? That makes sense to everybody? So I'm pulling back, and then to get a little bit of leverage and bring the spine to this position, I'll just push up on the back of the head, and now the spine
Oh, that feels so good.
is pulled like this. So it went from a position where it's kind of being pulled to now leverage is being applied, so I'm pulling a little bit more. And then our thumbs are at this place of attachments, so we're able to work statically on that. And we're just pulling. So that's one way that you can get some traction that I really like. The other way, try to get that camera right underneath here if you can. Can you see this? Okay, so you put the fingers directly underneath the occiput, all in a line. So my fingers are like this, essentially, all in a line. They all gather together, and then her hand is on my heels of the palm, and you're going to want to watch this because I want you to be able to duplicate this. So here's the steps. You put the fingers on top of the, right underneath the occiput, okay? Then I'm going to push the palms in so that her chin elevates. And then I just extend my fingers up and hold her head. And I'll do this for 2 minutes, or until her head starts really falling off, because she's going to start sinking back pretty soon. And if she doesn't start sinking back, it usually means they're holding. So then I'll start tipping her back, and then they usually get it to let go, and the head falls, and it might fall like that for a little while. Usually it'll become symmetrical and just fall back. So I'll let that happen. She's pretty much done. She let go, and then what I'll do is I'll take what she gave me with that loosening, and I'll pull straight back from there, and then hold that, and pull back. and that's a super cool, good traction kind of technique.
Could you do the first part of that move real quick again so I could get it? Just like the first, like, upper, just do that whole thing so I can get a better shot of it. Sorry.
That's okay.
That's good.
This, and then I push forward. And you push the fingers up.
Cool. Perfect.
So all I'm doing there is just going like this.
Yeah.
And you have to make sure, I mean, having your wrists, this wrist is a little tight, so I feel a little tension actually right through this side of my pinky, but I know it's just gonna pass. It's just because of my fingers are tight. My wrist is tight. So you might have that, just know that, just to loosen up before you start this kind of stuff. Okay, next.
Knead shoulders towards client's feet, alternating hands, like a cat.
Like a cat.
Making kitty biscuits.
So I would say something like this, or you could go like this, but you gotta have your knuckles down, or your fingers tucked in. You could probably also get away with this.
That's
But-
the best.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not 100% cool with it because of the way that the sheet is starting. I'm already starting to see that the sheet is starting to move around. I don't like that. So maybe I would go under here.
What muscle are you working when you're doing that one right there?
Trapezius
That's
muscle.
what I thought.
But there's a myriad of ways.
But like, are you still working the traps with the other variations of it?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Okay.
Redrape the shoulder. And complete with gentle open hands at shoulders or at ankles.
Okay. So there we go. Simple, easy. So with the abdominal massage, this is